Okay, 안녕 class. So today we're talking about direct variation. And we did a little bit of this today in class. And basically it's when two variables, x and y, have a direct or proportional relationship. So we've done all of this when we were talking about what's proportional and what's not proportional. But we're just calling it a different name. It's called direct variation. So you know it's proportional when it goes through the origin. And we know it's proportional when, if you have a table, x and y, and we can find a pattern, right? If we divide y by x, we get the same ratio. In this situation, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Let's do another one. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So this is directly proportional because the ratio is always 2. Which is also what we call the constant of variation. So we know the equation is always y equals mx, and b, the y-intercept, is always 0. This right here is called the constant. There's different names of it, but you'll see it as constant of variation. Okay, it's the ratio that we keep multiplying. And I'll show you an example. In other algebra books, you'll find it kx. Well, they'll be using k instead of m. I'm just going to use m so we don't get confused. Alright, so let me give you an example. For example, if I said x and y are directly varied, right? X and y are directly varied. I tell you that they're directly varied, meaning they're proportional. Okay, if you want to think of it, directly varied is the same thing as proportional. So for example, y equals 15 and x equals 5. And I want to know what y equals when x equals 9. So what I can do is I can make a table. Here's my x, here's my y. So y is 15 when x is 5. And I want to know what y is when x is 9. So I told you it's directly varied. So let's find how it's proportional to each other. So we're going to do y divided by x here, which is 15 divided by 5. And I get 3. So it's just 5 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27, so my y is 27. That's all it's telling me to do. It's directly proportional, so we can set up a proportion. You could do it this way by setting up a table, or you can do this. 15 over 5 equals something over 9. Because I didn't know that something, right? So, if I do that, then I can set up a proportion. I can cross multiply, or I can figure out different ways to do this. I can cross multiply, the butterfly effect, right? And I will get y equals 3. Okay, I'll do this in both ways. I'll do it in a table and I'll set up a proportion. So this one says y equals -6 when x equals 4. So I want to know what y equals when x equals -10. I'll set up a proportion first, okay? So I have -6 when x is 4. I want to know what y is, question mark, when x is -10. Now, I can do this because I told you they were proportional. I'm telling you they're directly varied. So I can set this proportion up because I told you they were proportional. If I didn't tell you they were proportional, then you can't do this, right? Do what I tell you to do. Just plain. Alright, so we're going to cross multiply. So then we have -60 times -10, which is 60, equals 4, question mark. We don't know what that question mark is, so we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 4. And we get question mark equals 15. So that 15 goes up there. If I set up a table, I'll get the same thing. So y is 6 when x is 4. And I want to know what y equals when x is -10. So here I can set up a proportion. I can do y over x, which equals -6 over 4. Which is also, if you use your calculator, -6 over 4 is also -1.5, right? So I know 4 times 1.5 is -6, so 10 times 1.5, remember you could always use a calculator to figure out what 10 times 1.5 is going to be 15. So you get the same thing whichever way you do it. Pick and choose your way. I actually like the table better, but whatever floats your boat. Okay, I want you to try this to try it. I want you to do it by setting up a proportion. And I also want you to do it by setting up a table and seeing if you get the same answer, okay? Now I am going to do one more word problem so that you get into word problems for tomorrow. So I want to see this word problem in your notes. Got it? Okay, next page. Once you do the try it. So I will set this up in two ways, table and I will set a proportion. Tiana works at a job where her pay is varied directly with the number of hours she worked in 1 week. So they're proportional. Her hours and her pay is proportional. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, so her hours, this is her hours, and this is her pay. Okay, so she worked in 1 week. She worked 35 hours and she made $385. And how many hours machine, what the heck, I meant, must she, or would she? Would she work? So must she work in order to make $495? So I want to know what this is to make $495. So I could do it two ways. I'm going to do it this way and a proportion way, okay? So I find out what y over x is. I find the ratio. Remember, this is directly proportional, so I want to find the ratio, the slope, aka. Alright, so I'm going to do 385 divided by 35. So 385 divided by 35, and I get 11. Now it tells me that it's directly varied, so I know that I can do the same thing. So basically 385 divided by 11 is 35, right? 385 divided by 11 is 35, so I can do the same thing and divide 495 by 11. And I get 45. So I have to work 45 hours. I could do it that way, or I can do it proportional. I can set up a proportion. So I can do 35 over 395 equals x over 495. And I could do the butterfly method. So I can do 495 times 35 equals 395x. Okay? So 495 times 35 equals 17,325, which equals 395x. And then I would divide both sides by 395. And I would get 45. Same thing, right? Does that make sense, guys? So I am doing the same thing, just different ways. Remember, that's how math is so precious, because I can do the same thing and do it in many different ways. Does that make sense? Okay. I meant 485 there. Whoops. I meant to put 485. That's why my math wasn't working out. So it's 485, 485. And you should get x equals 45. Same thing as I got there. Everything's dandy. We're all good. Alright, remember to put your units, hours. Okay, we'll do more word problems, but I want you to know there are two ways to set it up. And there might be more ways. If you find more ways, let me know. Okay, I hope you have a great super day. And I always ask, where? Bye, guys.